Hello, everybody, and welcome to part 2 of our Oracle healing. Thank you so much for being patient with this coming out. I've been so busy with so many things, but I appreciate you all so much for continuing to join. And let's get started with part 2 of the Oracle healing.
Okay. We're going to have, let me see what Pan hands down to you today. Do you like dancing?
I like it. I'm not very good at it.
I can see that. Visually, I'm like, they're showing me, I'm like, that's cool. Okay, so it's fun. It's fun, right? Okay, so Pan wants, he goes, the first thing we need is for you to let go any old beliefs about yourself. And I think you've done a lot of work, right? I think not just because you're sober, but energetically you've done a lot of work. And sometimes these thoughts, belief systems will float around us, right? It's so exhausting, Gwen. So exhausting. It could be something from like, our family doesn't do that and we'll never be good enough, to this is just how we are. Like, it's just these random thoughts, and we go, I swear I'm doing everything I need to do to progress. What is stopping? What is going on? And we forget to check our ether. Yeah. Like, what is floating around our ether, our energy system, because we're all energetic, right? And they are also saying that for you, you're very sensitive. Like, you can feel people's stuff. So you are going to have to start really doing a self-check every day. In this capacity. What is mine and what is someone else's? Because if you don't do that, you're going to think you're stuck when it's actually your neighbor who's stuck, or Corey who's stuck, right? So it's going to be very important that you do a self-check. Where am I today? How am I feeling today? You're like, I feel great today. And you're like progressing and you're doing whatever. And then the next day you're like, oh man, I feel off, like I'm stuck, like I'm doing something wrong. Then you need to pause and go, okay, was I around anybody that might have been, oh my gosh, so-and-so stuck, I'm supposed to help them. And then you'll feel like this weight lift off, right? But if it's you, then the question is, well, first you'd be curious, well, why do I feel stuck? What is going on for me? What am I missing? Well, why? And then be curious and then see if there's a solution, right? So that's just my giving you homework. That's not the ritual.
Yeah, so I feel like I feel like I'm aware of a lot of the things that are holding me back, but I don't know exactly how to let those things go. It's almost easier said than done, because I tell people 100%. All the time, I try and give advice when it's asked of me, and I'm like, yeah, I know, you could do this and you could do that. But when it comes to myself, it's like I'm aware, but I'm not able to let some things go, or like old beliefs.
Yes, but here's this ritual is going to help you actively let those go. You can call these energy work, right? You've heard of emotion code, where you can swipe away and identify emotions and let them go from your physical body. Men are really beings of action. Like, I often hear men say, like, I will show up, I'll start to be active. They want to show their spouses and their partners, I'm active, right? They don't talk so emotionally like women do. So sometimes a ritual for a woman might be a lot different than for a man, but the action behind it, right? So you're saying, okay, I know that thought is there, but why can't I let it go? I've done the emotion code, I've swiped it away, I've done this. I'm going to have you do something that's actionable. And this ritual that is handed down to you again from Pan is for where you are right now, to continue expansion, to let those things go and give you the tools you need, because I don't know, the next energy shift might be hard, right? Sure, we're in a space of expansion, but doesn't mean we're not going through something to make us ready for the next shift and the next shift. But there's some subconscious beliefs that might be tied to those beliefs, like a fear of outgrowing your family and friends. Because if I really accept this, am I going to change my gap from here to here? And they're still in that thinking. Does that make sense? So then we hold ourselves back subconsciously because we love our family. We want to be with our family. So we think we are helping them by staying stuck, kind of like, oh yeah, I get it, We do that to ourselves as a society. When people say, like, I can never be with a therapist who doesn't understand what I've been through, or if they don't know trauma, what we're saying is, everyone keep doing trauma because we got to understand each other, instead of going, no, they can have compassion and I can teach them through me, so and they can help me, type of thing. So anyhow, you're enabling your family energetically by not letting go of old belief systems and jumping. Because if you jump over here, they will either be ready to join or they might have some more things they have to go through. But you staying here doesn't help anybody. I don't know if I answered your question, but we're human, so we have to accept that some things are just harder, especially when we're taught that we must be broken. So many people they'll come to me with the same story over and over, and I'm like, hey, we've already processed that. And they're like, yeah, and they keep doing it. So then I move to what we call secondary gain. Secondary gain occurs when someone has a deeper reason to hold on to the story that prevents them from healing. It can be as simple as they really at the core don't think they're worthy of healing and being this person, so they want to hold on to the story. It could be as, I had a lady that when I was in law enforcement, she was on the street, so I went up to her and I was like, hey, and she was crying, and I was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, no, I lost my baby. And I was like, I'm so sorry, but her age and that didn't match. So I asked her, well, how long ago? She was like, 30 years ago. And I said, well, how long have you been holding on to the story? And not to take away that she lost a child, but she was living as if it happened. And she goes, because that's how everybody gives me attention, that's how everybody knows me. It took a lot for her to say that after we were talking for a while. But that's called secondary gain, because they're used to that becoming their story, that they want that same, at least they get in some validation or attention. Yeah, well, that they think it is, right? So you might have to ask yourself, well, dang it, Quinn, I've done this healing, I know this is a thought process, but why am I holding on to that? And you be curious with that part of you, because maybe that part of you did you a favor back then, it helped you survive back then, but it no longer is serving you. So you may have to renegotiate with that part of you and say, listen, this thought process isn't serving us anymore. Can we change your job or change what you're trying to help me with? I know it sounds funny, but just like we have angels and guides, we have the parts of us, our own, there's a thing called IFS, Internal Family Systems. We have our own system within that we have to get to know and appreciate the parts of us. There's a book called No Bad Parts, because there's really no bad parts of us, Are there parts of us that we would like to negotiate with and maybe change? Yes, right? So hopefully this exercise will help with that. And you might have to be curious in this. You might be curious when you go to let it go if you're feeling the resistance not to. And then you, with that part, go, I'm curious, why do we want to hold on? When did you start showing up for me? How old were you? Right? And then see if that part of you, it could be a younger version of you, it could be you from a year ago, that needs something. And then you ask, what do you need for us to let this go? I need my mom to say that she loves me. I need a hug. I need blank. And if that person cannot do it for you, can you, the current Quinn, do it for him? And most of the time you can. You can go give that part of you a hug or a love, or unseed one belief and seed another. You see this with suicide. Suicide ideation is a solution, right? And when someone is so much pain, it's a solution. So often you have to unplant that solution and create other solutions. And oftentimes too, people spiritually, let's say, they are going through some type of death, some type of resurrection. But it's not necessarily physical life, it's that part of them or stored in their life, and they associate it to a logical belief versus the spiritual belief, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work behind it. But so hopefully with this ritual that Pan wants to give you, and it's not just Pan that's here for you right now, it's also Mary Magdalene. So you know who Mary Magdalene is? Jesus' wife. Mary Magdalene is she's a heart healer. She's so motherly and so nurturing. She wants to, in this ritual, she wants to surround your heart with love. She wants to, all parts of you, including the ones that made mistakes, the one that had hard experiences, to know that it's loved, right? So she's going to be there holding space and comforting you in the sense of like, how she's showing me. She's like, at the very end of the ritual, which I know I haven't started the ritual yet, at the very end of the ritual, she wants you to like wrap yourself in a blanket, but imagine she's hugging you, and just allow yourself to be hugged and send love from Mary Magdalene. It's like almost like you're gonna have heart surgery at the end of your ritual. Some things we must do alone. You can go to a healer and they can do work on you, but some things you can do energy with your guides for you because it's so personal, right? And when you can be in that space, she says, Quinn, you have been in some dark places alone, and you got through it. But you haven't taken yourself to a place of complete and utter love, and you deserve that. And that will flip that experience in a way, right? So you might have to go to that you from that time, and that's the love you're bringing to that person. And I think that's how you'll feel alone. Okay, so what you're gonna do. So Mary Magdalene will be there. So yours is a lot simpler in certain, as far as what you need, because you need like, what, 7 candles? You need two candles. You're gonna do a black candle and a white candle. Okay? Do you like them?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was joking with him, like, we're the sun worshippers. Are you a moon worshipper?
That's possible.
It's all the same, because the sun reflects on the moon, and that's how the moon gets it. So it's just light and dark. Moses is a moon worshipper. That's why he has the crescent moon. Some people depict it as horns, but it's the crescent moon. Anyhow, I'm seeing you doing this at a time so I think we're moving into a full moon right now, but I feel like you need to do this during a new moon, because what you're going to release and then what you're going to plant at the end of this is going to grow, right? I know it's a long time for you to wait.
2 weeks.
But you have to wait for 2 weeks. Not as long as I thought. Okay. 2 weeks. Okay. So, it's gonna pretty simple. You're gonna face. Okay. So you're gonna step into the room. You're gonna have one candle to the north and one candle to the south. I'll tell you which ones. The black one to the south and the white one to the north. Okay. You are going to stand in the middle of the room, and you're just going to call in Mary Magdalene and Pan, and all the directions, north, south, east, west. And remember everything clockwise. I feel like you're supposed to start from the south because I need you to end facing south. So you're going to call in the south, west, north, east, go back to the south. You're going to call in Pan, and you're going to call in Mary Magdalene to be with you and to sit with you. And so though Pan is very playful, he knows what dark is. Like, he knows what it may feel like, right? And the reason is because what you're going to do is you're going to have a paper, a cauldron, and a pen, and a lighter, of course. And you're going to already set up the candles, but you're not going to light them until I tell you. So after you call them in, you're going to be facing south. So I almost see, like, as you're sitting, Mary Magdalene will be, well, that makes sense, okay. When you're facing south, Pan will be to your right. When you go to face north, Mary Magdalene will be to your right. But it's like they're flipping. So Pan will be to your right, Mary Magdalene will be to your left when you're facing south. And you're gonna start writing down, like, I feel like there's like memories, like you might have memories of dark times in your life. Does that make sense? And maybe a one word or a phrase or a sentence can describe that. You don't have to relive it. It's just like, I know, sound Main Street. like you have memory on Main Street, so you're gonna write down Main Street, and then you're gonna say whatever you're thankful for that you've learned from that situation. No, thank you. I know I'll never go back, or whatever the case may be, but I'm accepting that I can finally let it go. And you're gonna burn it, and they're going to help you. Pan's gonna help, like, nudge you if you're missing something. So let's say it this way, you're gonna do that until you're done. Any part of your life you're just ready to let go of, okay? And if you cannot, you know how energetically you just can't turn right? You know what I mean? Like I don't know what it is, I have to turn left, I cannot turn right. you're going to feel that same way. Like you just cannot turn right to go to the next, because you'll have to do a three, to face south or north, you're going to have to turn around the way, clockwise. So if you can't turn right, that means you're not done. So you better sit your ass there, excuse my language, sit there until you make sure that you get it all out, right? Okay. And Pan is saying, he goes, don't confuse that you're not done with it. Maybe you just need to take a breath, right? So say you're sitting there and you write everything down, and you feel like you got it all out, and you just accept that. And then you say, okay, is there more? Well, can I turn right? And you're like, no, I can't. And then all of a sudden you just sit there in silence until more comes. And then take a deep breath. And if you can't turn right, if you feel like you can't get more information, accept what you've released. Like just take a breath and just accept what you've released. And then once you feel like you can turn right, that black candle, by the way, because you're going to light the black candle before you start talking about everything you're letting go of and burning it, apparently. But you're going to leave the cauldron there. You're going to let the candle keep burning until it goes out, and then you're going to go, like, you don't have to stay there the whole time. It just needs to stay on until the ritual's done. Then you're going to go to the north, and you're going to sit in a meditation, and you're going to say, I choose me. I choose to progress with love. And you're going to close your eyes and imagine Mary Magdalene wrapping you with a blanket, which I feel like you need to get an actual blanket and just wrap yourself, and get a pillow, because you may lay down and just go to sleep and feel that love, or just meditate with that feeling of her wrapping her heart around you. Okay, and then stay there as long as you feel, and when you feel like you're done, thank both of them for coming. Of course, you'll start the white candle, but please move away from the fire. Don't fall asleep and knock it over. Go in the middle of the room. But just let it burn. Take your time. I do feel like you're going to do this in the evening. I don't see it during the day. You alone. And then when you're done, just maybe journal whatever your experience was or how you feel. And really, when you say thank you to everyone, but take care of yourself that day. I want you to do that every day, but drink water, maybe eat something healthy. Really nurture yourself. Support yourself. Right, any questions?
So I light the black candle first, and then write everything down, burn it, and then turn to the right, and then light the white candle after the black candle's been completely burned.
No, the black candle doesn't have to be completely burned. Okay. It may naturally, because I don't know how long you're going to be there. So if you get a ritual candle and you're doing it for 20 minutes and you're still doing it, and it goes out, it's fine. But say you do everything and there's still like a little bit, it's fine. It's representing like letting go, right? The black is like reforming, because black is all colors. It's very beautiful. It has night sky, it's black. But it's doing you a service by really amplifying and letting go of that pain, right? And you're actively stating to the universe, I'm letting this go. It's not just in your mind. It's not just, You're actively letting it go. So these are your actionable steps. And then, so you can light the white one even if the black one's still going, because you can still be loved though you're letting things go. Okay. Right? You can use this ritual anytime you want as well, just like Corey, to, in 6 months because we're human, we pick up on things, we get triggered, and you could just kind of clean up that 6 months. Okay? Don't be surprised that people reach out to you or show up, because when you really let things go, it helps them too. Okay. Any questions?
I think that's it.
Okay. Well, that ends my reading.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. You had me almost crying a couple times.
You can blame your guides now.
This was really awesome. Are there any like historical figures that kind of taught you, or like that you learned from, that do all this, or is this all intuition, or?
So I've been able to see and hear angels and guides since I was 3. So they taught me up until they still teach me, but up until 2015. And in 2015 I joined the Modern Mystery School, and I kept getting guided by Jesus. He's like, I know you're learning a lot, but you're missing some keys. I need you to go to a physical school for some of the little gaps, And so I started going to the Modern Mystery School. I'm a life activation practitioner, virtual master, teacher. Really been in there since 2015, and still so much to learn. It's like my favorite school because it just fills in the gaps, and then it makes my gifts stronger because I can understand the missing parts. You know, there's still so much missing. Like, you know what I mean? Like the rug analogy is, there's just still so much missing. So yes, I have my guides that teach me, especially with the intuition and the oracle and the direct communication. And then the Modern Mystery School teaches a lot about history and hermetics and different keys, and it's just amazing. And I bring it here to Utah, so I have a guy that comes, and he comes out here and he teaches like Empower Thyself and certain things to become initiate into the path of King Solomon. And in March, he's having a class for Empower Thyself. I think you'd have to have a life activation first, which is what I do or Tanji does. And then Empower Thyself is a 2-day course where you're initiated into the path of King Solomon. It's a mythology which I really like. King Solomon, the name Solomon itself means sun, sun, sun. S-U-N, not S-O-N, the sun. But it has definitely expanded my abilities, opened my mind, and I consider myself a Elohim channeler, so someone who channels the gods. That's my favorite thing to do.
What's the life activation like? Intel or what?
So a life activation, it does an energy clearing, like it cleanses your lotuses, your ether fields, your aura field, and more. And then you're born, or we all are born with 24 strands of DNA, and the life activation activates 22 of them. And I've done over 800 life activations. And just to watch people's lives, whether it's fast or progressive, because it depends on where you are and what's going on, just empowers and helps you remember who you are. It's like, you know, the theory that we're stuffed into a meat body or we're stuffed into a can and then sent to Earth. Essentially, this helps you expand outside of that. And for a lot of my clients, they've said it's like expands their free will and their gifts. I get the craziest stories sometimes, and sometimes I get very like simple stories, but they're very powerful still.
Beautiful. Yeah, we'll be meeting with Tanji too at a later date. And
Yeah.
We're excited to be connected to you guys and want to hear more about Mystery School and your beautiful center here, the Divine Awakening Center.
Yeah.
So you guys have so much to offer the
We
world.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We offer mental health, massages, and spiritual stuff. So we're an integration of all, and our motto is, it's through knowledge we gain wisdom. We're professionals, and we believe in growth, certification, and expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, because you have a background in therapy and in certifications there.
Yep. I have 2 master's degrees, one in clinical psychology, one in marriage family therapy, and I'm working on my doctorates right now. So I do believe in the balance of the physical and the spiritual, and you have to be cautious not to just jump to one and the other, because we're both.
Yeah.
So, you know, for humans here to have a spiritual experience, no, we're not. We're humans here to have a human experience, because we're already spiritual, right? So, but it's nice to have the spiritual experiences because it keeps us going, right?
Are there any social media sites or any kind of like, how can we get a hold of you if somebody was interested in doing one of your sessions?
So for any channelings that I do or communing, I will put on TikTok once a week, just like from different gods. Super fun, but it's under Brandee Downes. But for Divine Awakening Center, you can go to www.divineawakeningcenter.com, and it will send you to Vagaro website. It's like a booking site where you can book any type of classes. We're working on cleaning it up, but you could go there to book appointments with me, Tanji, Kirsta, any healers or mental health. And we have Instagram, Divine Awakening Center for healers on Instagram, and that's probably what we have right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Or they can call in. We have you could call in and talk to someone, normally 2 or after Monday through Friday, and the number's on the website.
Okay, great. This has been an awesome session. Thank you so much for having us. And like I said, almost got a little emotional there for a minute. So
Good. Healing is, that's how we know we're moving.
yeah,
Movement.
healing is emotional, isn't it?
It is. But we are emotional beings. That's why we emotionally eat. Like, it's just, we are emotional.
Right. Absolutely.
Do you guys have any other questions?
No, I just look forward to doing the ritual for myself and kind of taking these gifts with me. So it's an honor to be here and receive in your space.
Make sure you report back to your audience your experience with your rituals.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's important.
Yes. In 2 weeks, you'll get mine.
In 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely share that. Yeah, and come check out the Divine Awakening Center. So many beautiful offerings here and practitioners. And so we'll put that information in the comments and so you can find them. And maybe something here is calling to you.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you all for joining us, and be sure to join us in a couple weeks and get our report on our rituals.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a follow-up and see where this takes us.
Yay!
And then also, one of the practitioners here, Tanji, we're also going to be doing the quantum healing with for our next episode, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Awesome.